The WhatsApp number is 0809 444 And we're also streaming live up on our YouTube. Just search Smooth 981. You can catch the live stream, post a comment, ask a question. Just share your thoughts, really. Good morning, Rotus.
Hey, good morning, Zibby. Good to be with you and all our listeners and viewers out there.
All right, so let's get to conversation this morning. Now we're talking about NERC promising 4 million prepaid meters to Nigerians. Interesting.
Yeah, that is correct. That's the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. We are at the tail end of this administration, and I think it's a good idea for everyone to take stock of what has been achieved, if anything, with respect to power, with respect to manufacturing, with respect to creatives, with respect to just think about anything and ask yourself if anything has been improved. So here comes NERC, the Electricity Regulatory Commission, saying that they will promise to provide, this is phase 2 of the meter proliferation program, essentially. So I think phase 1, they distributed about 1 million meters, and now they're promising 4 million, which is very interesting. They haven't really, I don't think they were specific about the period of time within which those 4 million meters will be produced. But just for, so that, I'm sure everybody is already aware of what the situation is. If you don't have a meter, you will get estimated billing, where if you live in, a complex or whatever, your energy consumption will be estimated based on your neighbors. Woe betide you if you're a single person living in an apartment and you're being benchmarked against a family of 4 or 5 next door. You're going to be in trouble. So, although if you're lucky and you're a family of 4 and you've got a bunch of single people that live with you, I know there's a cap on estimated billing to try to help customers not get their eyes gouged. But it could go the other way, where some people don't even want to get meters because their estimated billing is pretty low because they have a large household and they're just lucky that they're being benchmarked against people who are like me now. After this, I'm out all day long. All my lights are off. I don't come back until evening time. I don't consume any energy until I'm back. So, if a family next door to me is being benchmarked against what me and maybe 2 or 3 other single people are, then their bills will be really low. So it's a distortion. You've got a distortion without knowing exactly what everybody is consuming in terms of power. And so that's why you need meters. But unfortunately, Nigeria does not have enough meters to go around to all her paying customers. And that's just sad, Zibby. Incredible. But then what else isn't sad in Nigeria?
Huh? I'm sure there's some things we can be happy about, Rotus.
Yeah, okay, if you say so.
All right, so can you describe the MAP and the NMMP?
Yeah, so MAP is the meter asset program, which was supposed to be, used to spread meters across the country. And then NMMP was from the government. That was the National Mass Metering Program. I think it was around 2001 that they decided to merge both of them together and use that as a means through which they could get more meters out. But if you like, you can have a Zibby metering program, Rotus metering program, Smooth FM metering. You can have all the metering programs you want. You can name them what you want, and then you can join them all together and make people think that, oh, they're joined together, so we'll get more meters out. You can do all that one you want. It's not going anywhere. Nothing's. It's still only 1 million meters. I think since 2021, when they merged, over 2 years now, it's 2023, I think only 1 million meters, according to their numbers, only about 1 million have been distributed.
Wow. So where are we in terms of the metered customers in Nigeria?
We've got, according to the Bureau of Statistics, I think we've got about 12 million paying power customers. 12 million, I think. I have to check those numbers again. It's about 12 million. Out of the 12 million people that are paying for power, I think it's about 4.9, barely up, maybe it's about 5 million or just about 4.5 million people who are paying. So you've got a big metering gap of about 7 million people. So think about that. You got 12 million people paying for power, which, by the way, population of 200 million. I know about more than half of that is rural. So rural folks are there, then you got the urban. So you can't really expect that. But for only 12 million people to be paying, it reminds me of pensions. I think our total number of Nigerians that have pensions that PenCom has recognized is about 9 million.
Wow.
9 million people paying for pension. But we're not talking about pensions today. We're talking
We should talk about it another time. Really.
I know, we should talk about pensions another time. Especially benchmarking your pensions against the currency fluctuations. But anyway, so 12 million, you got about 4 point something million people that have meters. So you've got a gap of, what's 12 minus 4? 8 million or so. Yeah, so 8 million gap. And you only did 1 million that you distributed since 2021. so that's where we are, Zibby. That's where Nigeria is right now.
Wow. Let's look at some of the messages we have coming through. El Como says, MAP, meter asset provider, privately funded metering program delivered by licensed meter suppliers and installation organizations. NMMP, National Mass Metering Program, CBN funded metering program to be recovered from tariffs. The number of meters and the population of citizens are not mutually inclusive. And thank you, Como. Have a brilliant day ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, you can't, thanks for that message. You can't, really take the whole population because a lot of the population is rural. A lot of the infrastructure is not fully electrified, but again, it is kind of staggering to think of only 12 million people paying for power in a country of this size. So it tells you that electricity infrastructure is not going well. And so you've only got 4 point something million people that have meters in this country. That is, you could fit them all in literally one state. You could fit them all in one state. So there is a lot of work that has to be done to get those meters across all the paying customers. And then you now have to look at, okay, how do we electrify the rest of the country and then, get that going.
So Ogeneo Chuko says, which area in Lagos? We in Ajegunle, Apapa are actually paying for darkness. The estimated bills keep rising every month without a corresponding increase in power supply. It seems to be an extortion system that is going on. Precious from Ogba says, Rotus, let's be clear about this. NERC is a regulatory agency in the sector. Is NERC distributing the meters or supervising the distribution of meters?
Supervising the distribution of the meters, as has already been explained, you've got one side that is, and they've been merged now. I mean, they're merged now. And part of the promise that NERC made is that the funding from the CBN will see this through. The matter of getting your money back through tariffs, the tariffs, I know they've been increasing them gradually, but are they fully cost reflective? That is, are they, because we've had electricity subsidies for quite a while now. So in order for them to be, to get their money back from those tariffs, you've got to have, properly cost reflective tariffs that reflect the amount of what it takes to provide power. So again, still quite a ways to go.
So what challenges are we facing when it comes to closing this metering gap?
The meters, I mean, they're supposed to be locally assembled here, but that's a problem. So we're trying not to import them, but we have to import a portion of them. There's the matter of inflation, the costs of importing them. It's a very capital intensive program. I was reading, I think I read it in Nairametrics, they spoke to I think it was an energy analyst that said just to distribute those 1 million meters cost about 50 billion naira. I think that was his estimate, which is a lot of money for just 1 million. So you multiply that by, by 8, and you are well on your way to quite a hefty amount of money, in the hundreds of billions of naira. So your costs, your inability to scale local production to produce them here in the country, the cost of importing them. We don't have that much foreign exchange. Our foreign exchange has been dwindling. Who are we not owing for foreign exchange? We're owing airlines. We have foreign portfolio investors that can't take their money out of the stock exchange. I mean, so, those are the challenges, Zibby. Those are the challenges we're facing.
All right, of course, the messages coming through. Dami says 12 million households, not exactly 12 million people, as average household size is around 4 to 5 nationally. Como says, when we think 12 million customers or households in the electricity industry, we should also remember that households might have on average 5 to 7 or more individuals that would make up a customer. In locations across Nigeria, several families share a single meter as well.
Excellent points. Thank you for that. That I should have clarified that. Thanks. Households, indeed. So yeah, look, I mean, that just tells you how much more needs to be done with regard to those numbers.
So what's the overall picture in terms of Nigeria's electricity infrastructure?
Well, look, I mean, the transmission company of Nigeria is supposed to get power from the GenCos, the generation side, through to using the discos to spread power over to us, the end users. But you've got the legacy infrastructure issues, old aging infrastructure that needs to be revamped. Our energy mix is not that diverse. I think about 2,000 megawatts comes from hydro, which is the dams. You've got about another 11,600 or 11,700 that comes from what's the other mix now? You've got hydro, and then you've got, I've drawn a blank. So you only got essentially two sources with respect to gas, steam and gas. That's it. I blanked for 2 seconds, sorry. So if gas and steam are where you've got your other mix of about 11,000 megawatts or so. So your energy mix is not that diverse. So we need to diversify it, and the infrastructure needs to be improved, and you've got to get cost-effective tariffs, and you've got to get more meters across the country. So, again, as I started at the beginning, I know we're out of time and we're done, but 8 years ago, where were we in terms of our power distribution in Nigeria, and where are we now? And what can we look forward to in the future? That's the question. As this administration gradually comes to the end, everybody please reflect on where we were then and where we are now.
All right, well, that's all the time that we have for Business Express this morning. Thanks for your messages. Thank you for listening. And thanks, Rotus, as well, for joining us. And have a brilliant day.
See you tomorrow.
That's it for Business Express. Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.
Brought to you by